I'm Dave.
And I'm Phil.
And this is
Three
Hoosier Brothers.
Casey's. It's not a paid endorsement.
No.
No paid endorsement. It tastes pretty good.
We don't sponsor them, and we are not sponsored by them. But breakfast pizza is usually pretty good.
You already ate pizza.
Me and Phil, apparently.
I take it.
Yeah. So we got the breakfast pizza, of course, and it has egg and sausage, and I believe the sauce is like a gravy. So, of course, in Indiana, we like to eat.
Gravy, you can't go bad with gravy.
And it's the Midwest, so
We like to put all kinds of things on the pizza.
Mm.
It comes in bacon also, but he got
Yes.
sausage.
This comes with a bacon, and I believe there's also, besides bacon and sausage, there's Canadian bacon.
Ooh,
For
Canadian
those who
bacon.
like a nice
Oh.
breakfast.
They do make a veggie one too.
Mm.
Don't they have gluten-free options as well?
Maybe.
I don't know. Haven't seen it on the
They
menu.
have a lot of options. They're pretty good at catering to customers. And their food's decent. It's not just a random gas station pizza. They actually have a nice kitchen in the back, and they cook pizzas, burritos, breakfast sandwiches, breakfast bowls, all kinds of stuff. And it's pretty decent.
So, besides the pizza and stuff, we're pretty much going to randomly talk about stuff. Bill, what do you got for us?
Well,
In the news today.
what I had, I don't think you want me talking yet. Because I was going to ask you guys, have you seen that viral thing on TikTok about the lady that made those cinnamon rolls?
Oh,
I don't think
yeah.
I want to know now.
That was disgusting. Why are people today such degenerates?
She made cinnamon rolls for her husband out of her own yeast infection. Who's next?
Anyone that does that, you're disgusting.
Oh, there was an update on it too.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
It wasn't good.
I'm a bit scarred now for the day.
Was eating.
You want some pizza?
No, I don't want pizza now.
There's no yeast in this.
Hi.
It's pizza crust. Oh, man.
So, anyway,
I thought you guys had a video we were going to talk about the millennials.
Oh yeah,
that's what I thought.
that was one of them. I forgot about that one. That one just popped up today. 'cause
Honestly,
there was an update.
thought that's what you were wanting to talk about. Instead of the
Seriously.
other.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just tell you sorry.
Now I'm trying to remember which one it was. Oh,
Do we need to plug it in? So, put it into the video?
yeah, we'll have to plug in the video. We'll plug a little portion of it in, or at least David will try.
I'll edit that in.
It was. And sorry for the wait. We got to really do these. We're going to have to edit this.
What I want you to do is close your eyes, because it's the summer of 2006. It's 10 a.m. You're just a kid. You're lying in your bed in your room, and you are bored. There is nothing to do because there's nothing good on TV. You don't have a cell phone, and you can't use the internet because you're not allowed to because it ties up the phone line. The whole house is quiet. And that's why you can hear the breeze outside. And that's where we all got acquainted with that bird that we came to know so well. And you are just lying there, wondering if your crush is thinking about you, wondering if there's still pizza rolls in the freezer, wondering what it is you're going to do today. And that quiet isn't interrupted by a notification. That quiet is interrupted by the doorbell. Or maybe it's one of 30 texts that you'll get this month because that's all you paid for on your plan. But your day is interrupted by your squad who shows up on bikes, or maybe they have an older sibling that came to pick you up in their vehicle, and that's like a really, really good day. And when your friends show up, that's when the whole day starts, and you all go out together, and you don't have cell phones, you're just with each other, and you talk to each other face to face. And here's the really big one, is whatever you do today is going to boil down to 3 solid options. You're either going to hit the mall, and you don't go to shop or spend money. Like, you're not going to actually do anything. It's just to be somewhere else together. And you're not going to buy anything or spend any money unless maybe you bump into your crush and their friend group, and then maybe you spend the little money that you have in your pocket to go to the movies or hit the food court. But it's not about the movie, and it's not about the food. It's about the people that you're with. Option number 2 is heading over to somebody's house so that you can all be bored together. And this is where the best memories of our entire lives came from. These are the days and memories that are going to stick with you in your mind, that make you happy just remembering them, and they will stick with you until the day you die. And the thing is, they came off the back of a day that was just boring, but you were with your friends, and you don't realize how special that is when you're in that moment. But you will when you're grown. And those moments are memorable because of the people that you're with. Do you notice a pattern here? Because option number 3, which is going to resonate more for the guys, but option number 3 was heading over to somebody's house for a LAN party or a Halo party, and you all just play video games together. And you're playing in the same house. And it's not really about winning, because it kind of is, but it's not. It's about the people who you are physically with. Now, I want you to open your eyes, because we flash forward almost 20 years, and everything I just mentioned still happens, but it's all been corrupted by technology, convenience, and making a buck. Nobody is bored today. Every single second of our lives is trying to be captured by a company. And these corporations are doing that in exchange for what they say is convenience. But here's the thing, even though movies come straight to our devices, we are all watching them alone. Even though we can place the order online and skip the line, we are all eating alone.
And then, occasional text or something.
Yeah, for like us, summer break was summer break. You waited for your friends to come over, you called them up. I mean, for the most part, phones were still on the wall. We rode our bikes to go somewhere and play. If we went over to a friend's house, you'd play Nintendo, or when we were real little, you had Atari.
And I mean, when we were mid to early teens, you couldn't get on the internet because you'd be tying up the phone line. So there was no, just texting or chatting to your friends or whatever very much.
Well, when we were young, most households didn't have internet.
Most households didn't even have cable.
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
Like
And you were pretty well off.
I was kind of jealous of some of my friends that had cable, and that was like basic cable.
Yeah.
We didn't have basic cable until we were like late teens. We were almost out of the house by the time
What was that?
we got cable.
Late 90s, I think?
Yeah,
Oh, that was like early 2000s finally broke down and got.
No, Dad got cable in the late 90s.
Yeah, I think it was like
Before that, actually, there was a time we didn't have TV at all.
Well, we didn't have a TV for a
Well,
little bit because Dad didn't want one in the house because everyone kept watching it and not doing.
yeah, and there was stuff
Oh, it was-
coming on that we really didn't need to watch as kids at night, especially.
bottom line is it was more about not being engrossed in media and
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
actually
it was-
living life and enjoying your friends.
And the funny part was it wasn't even that much media
And
back then.
We could enjoy the day and just relax and hear the outside if you're in your room, and nothing was ever interrupted by, a notification. If we heard the phone ring, it was a phone ringing, and somebody was picking it up off the wall, like he said, like Rock said.
Well, most of the time it wasn't even for you anyway. If the phone was going off, it was for your parents.
Yeah.
Or a telemarketer.
Yep. Oh, and if you had dad or somebody come to the phone, you had your dad back then from the phone, and it was a telemarketer, you got in trouble. And not only the person that was the telemarketer that got yelled at, that you got yelled at for giving him the phone.
When caller ID came out,
Mm.
that was
Yeah, it's hard to with Rick because then you can see your phone
I'm
number.
gonna answer that.
Then you could ignore your family
Or work.
or work or whoever you actually didn't want to talk to. But hey, there's another viral video that was kind of funny. It's these two kids. The parents give them a piece of paper with a phone number on it, and
Oh,
and then they reveal the phone they have to use, and it's one of the old rotary phones. And these kids have to try to figure out how to actually make a phone call on it. Well, I'll put that in there too, but that is hilarious.
You have 4 minutes to dial that phone number.
That's it?
That's it. With that phone.
Wait, so you have to push it, right?
Kyle, move your butt over. I don't want your butt in the
My
video.
fingers don't...
There you go.
Look. It's all the way from here.
Yeah. 7.
Oh no, zero's all the way over. How do I restart? Okay, yeah. Alright.
7.
And some of these young kids today try to figure out how to make the thing actually turn and call somebody.
yeah, it took quite a while.
I
to
mean,
figure it out.
the first part, they're like sitting there, and they don't even have the phone picked up off the hook. They're just sitting there trying to get the numbers to go around, and they're not going over to the metal stop piece that we used to have to go. So you had to, if it was 0, you had to come all the way around, and there was a metal stop piece, and you let go and let it go all the way back.
Like a
Same with
combination
any
lock.
other number. Yeah, it'll let it go back. Well, these kids, they're taking that 0 and going a little ways, then letting go, and then taking a 1 a little ways. The thing is, if you did that, you weren't putting in the right number because depending on how far you went to that stop and then let go, it inside the phone it ticks basically to count how many numbers, so it knows what number you actually are dialing.
Yeah, it's mechanical.
And then eventually they finally figured out, oh, you gotta take the hook or take the phone off the hook and then dial. And then they finally figured out, oh, you gotta take all those. They had a time limit and they just barely made it the time limit. I think they were given maybe 5 minutes or something to figure out how to make the phone call, and they barely succeeded.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame we don't have landlines in our homes anymore.
Well, even the
Most
land,
homes.
even the landlines aren't really landlines. They're digital. They're on the cable.
Well, a lot of people have done that, but there's still the dedicated phone lines, and those still are one of the most reliable lines.
What's funny, I don't see payphones anywhere. Like nowhere. There used to be in like common areas. I don't see them anywhere now. Like
From what I understand, though, there's some people trying to bring them back a little bit, like in cities. But yeah, you still don't. They're not like they used to be.
it's like an archaeologist find if you find a payphone that's sitting there. Probably not in use, but
I remember seeing one for the first time in a long time, 16 years ago. And at the place I currently work, they actually had one in the break room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like one of those older, even was a rotary even, but it was like really fat and long. And you had to actually, put the money in. And surprisingly, there's a couple guys there that were still using it.
there's
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I saw one, but it was a weirder one. It was ones that you didn't see often. It was shaped like the old school home phones.
Oh yeah,
And it actually had the rotary too.
yeah.
But you put the coin in the old school phone
Okay.
and did the thing. It's in a bar. It's still there. They still use it. It's weird.
Well,
I can see why it would be in a bar.
I know where there's still a public phone booth. It's right outside the phone company too. It's in Bloomfield,
Bloomfield, Indiana.
yeah, Indiana.
Okay.
There's actually still a public phone booth out there.
It being Indiana, you would think that some of this stuff would still be kind of around because there tends to be, and more rural, and rural things tends to take longer to update.
Oh yeah, like we're actually getting a tower and stuff out in some of the rural areas. Heck, out of my house, took forever to find a good internet service because like the only things they had was like satellite, and the satellites they had were junk. Starlink's supposed to be pretty good. It's in my area now, but I finally got one. They put a big tower on my garage, but it's a company here called Joink, and actually finally have some decent internet. It's working pretty good.
Well, they haven't brought you your fiber optic yet?
No, they haven't brought any fiber optic down the road yet.
Joink is a
Fiber
company
optic
that's
everywhere.
trying to
Yeah,
update everywhere with a fiber optic cable.
pretty nice company. They're growing pretty fast.
Again, not a paid advertisement.
No.
Just what's around.
It's kind of funny we talk about the rotary phone and stuff, and then we all went to flip phones, cell phones, now it's smartphones. I mean, we got one right now that we're just sitting here talking and having view us. But have you noticed like a lot of the celebrities and movie stars and stuff are going back to just flip phones?
Yeah,
Like
I've seen that.
texting and dialing only?
Well, honestly, I don't know how much longer I want to keep my smartphone.
Right? It seems like some of them are doing it just to like disconnect a little bit more.
Yeah.
And be more retro, yeah, but I think it's more of a disconnect.
Well,
thing.
what's funny is some of the owners of these companies talk about how they don't let their kids have tablets and
Oh, yeah.
or smart devices
Most
at all.
of the CEOs
The
and
companies,
stuff, they have
Limited
companies.
use. Limited use on computers and stuff.
So a lot of the owners and CEOs and stuff of these companies that push the smartphones, the computers, tablets, and stuff, yeah, they don't let their kids use them that much, if at all, and then they'll limit the time they have on them. And then you ask them why.
I guess what we're saying is, since they were saying in that video that we were the last generation to enjoy the outside, go outside. Yeah, and you're watching our video now, but go outside. Enjoy being with people. Enjoy the outside. Enjoy just
Go watch a
time.
bird.
Yeah. Go walk
Yeah.
around a lake. Go take a walk, down the street. Just enjoy being
Something
away.
outside. Even if it's a cold day, sometimes the cold's actually good for you.
Enjoy being with people, not on your phone beside them. Just like enjoy being with them.
Well, even if we decide to do that, I mean, it's harder and harder, almost impossible to get away from all this stuff. I mean, there's somebody with something around you. You're hearing it all the time, seeing people
True.
interact with it. And if you just want to interact with, nature or people, it's hard to even do that.
But still, I mean, if a lot of you are really into like the movie stars and all these people who try to influence, then hey, pay attention to what some of them are actually doing. A lot of them are disconnecting. Maybe do the same thing. Yep.
Awkward silence. Anyways, so what you guys' thoughts on the political race so far?
What political race?
Like the Republican race,
No,
everybody's staying.
No, I mean, there's no.
Oh yeah.
There's no
Well,
debates. There's no.
Yesterday, Nikki Haley did an announcement of "I'm staying in the race."
Mm-hmm. She sounded like a petulant child, like stamping her foot.
Saying even if she loses, what is it, North Carolina, where she's
her own
from?
state.
Her own state,
Yeah.
she's still going.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
She lost literally to nobody in what was it, Nevada or New Mexico?
I can't remember. We'd have to look it up. We'll look it up.
But basically, it was split something like she got a low 30%, and on the ballot they actually had some other guy, her, and then it said none of the above, right? And none of the above got like 60% of that vote.
She lost to none of
She
the
lost,
above.
yeah. She
No.
lost to nobody.
Yeah, there was probably write-ins, but still.
A lot of folks are just getting tired with everybody.
I don't think people are happy.
People are pretty tired of like
Establishment people.
Yeah, establishment people. I mean, look at Nikki Haley, for instance. Right, she had to change her name, so her name, that's not even her real name.
Wait,
We'll have to look at the reference and put it on there to show
I
you.
remember something about that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
She changed it, and it's like, why? I mean, we have like, if they try to use the excuse, well, if she didn't change her name, it wouldn't sound American enough. Well, Who cares? We had Vivek. And Vivek, can't pronounce his last name. Sorry. But Vivek, he was a good candidate. A lot of people liked him. I liked him. A lot of good things to say. He didn't change his name.
Wouldn't that look, to me, that would seem like a poor choice because you're saying that Americans can only be a certain way, and if you're somebody trying to say that you're not stereotypical, you're not stereotyping, sorry,
Right.
or even being racist in some way.
And it kind of goes to, like, similarly, it goes to show that what does that candidate actually think of the people that they're trying to get to vote for them.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't think much of those people if you think you have to try to be something else or you have to do all this stuff, which, granted, that's what politicians are. I mean, most politicians aren't real people. But that just goes to show what you think of your own constituents.
Yeah. If you don't think that they can make a decision based on intelligence and what you have to represent.
Or it's just, my name.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm looking for her actual name.
Yeah, her original name. She did change it. Apparently, it was I'm gonna
This is
butcher
coming
it.
from the AP.
I'm gonna butcher it. I know I am. Nimrata Nikki Randhawa. Yeah.
Randahawa.
So she changed her name to Nikki Haley. Well, is Haley? Wait.
So her parents were originally from
Haley is
India.
is her husband's name.
Oh, okay.
So that makes sense
Right.
there. But she changed her. She just started using her middle name apparently though. To make it, I guess more Americanized, or if it was just to be more catchy for people to pay attention to. I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe she was worried that people weren't going to listen to someone with her original first name.
Right. But again,
it really makes sense considering
right.
everybody that's here.
Like I
mean,
said,
it is our prerogative to change it and
didn't
everything.
have to change his name, and he did rather well, especially for coming out of nowhere and not ever being in politics.
But if I remember right, she also, like, her husband' actual name is William, and she started calling him Mike or Michael because she said he looked like a Michael. I'll have to look.
That's
I'll have to look that. But he started calling him Mike, so he started going by Mike instead. So I'm like, why?
Right.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Regardless,
I mean, I understand like a
politicians-
nickname, like Hey Bear or Hey, Pookie, or just think of a nickname you give your spouse.
yeah.
Yeah, but not just calling them a completely different name. I think
That'd be weird.
You're Mike now.
a lot of guys would have some questions, bro.
I'm like, I'm sorry, was your
No,
love of your life,
and
Michael?
Again, no disrespect to her husband. It's like, why would you do that?
It's a bit strange.
Well, I mean,
He is.
the other couple of
I do believe that he is in the military.
Mhm.
Also, I want to say, I'd have to look up. I want to say he's Navy, maybe. I might be wrong. We'd
Yeah.
have to look it up.
Regardless, there's the other stories of what she did while he was deployed, so I don't have much respect for her on that either.
Again,
I don't think we're
it's an
in the
opinion
trash.
and a rumor.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. But no, like I said, most politicians to me, they're fake. They don't tell you what they actually think. You don't know what they're going to do until they actually get in, and then they start voting. Once they have a voting record, they will then come back and re-campaign and lie about what they voted on or how they voted.
Well, there's been few and far between who haven't,
Right.
unfortunately, and that's just not the way it's supposed to be. I like the way
He's Army National Guard. Sorry, I said that. No, sorry for getting that wrong.
the original founding fathers thought Congress was going to be, because it was not an attractive proposition. They tried to make it as unattractive as possible to serve the people. They didn't think that people would want to make this their career. They thought they would have to drag folks in kicking and screaming to serve. But now
Well, I mean,
you get rich afterwards.
they
I mean,
had
and
writings
this
on
is sorry.
I was going to say, like, So a lot of the founding fathers actually wrote stuff on those letters to each other and whatnot, stating that, hey, this isn't really supposed to be your full-time job. You have one, and this is just paraphrasing, but it's like you have a job before you go into service, and then you'll have a job when you go out. Like most of them were businessmen or had something else that they would do, so you weren't supposed to be there full time, right? And then on top of that, they wrote about, hey, once you get to the point where you have full time politicians or people doing this, and this is all they're doing, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
And that's what we've gotten to. I mean, there's no term limits on these people.
And then,
Well, they've changed it from, or trying to change it in the people's eyes and in literature from a constitutional republic to a democracy.
Right, and we're not a democracy.
So the ones going in think that we're a democracy, so they've got a completely different mindset on what our governing body is supposed to be, because we were supposed to just be governed by ourselves, the people. You'd be taking care of your stuff all the time on a local level.
Yeah.
As a people.
Well, when it was supposed to be a constitutional republic where you actually went by the law and the law applied equally to everybody, and the rules, like the Bill of Rights and stuff, and the Constitution, supposed to be a set of rules of what the government was not allowed to do, not what they were allowed to do to you.
But that's changed
Yeah,
so much.
too many lawyers have gotten involved, too many bureaucrats. I mean, most of the senators and congressmen up there don't really control a lot. A lot of times it's the bureaucrats who make these little laws that have not been voted on by anyone. I mean, politically, I'm more on the conservative side, but I think everyone should be allowed to vote on any law that they put in place or try to put in place. It ought to be on national ballots.
Well, the whole idea of a 10-page maximum bill and no attachments is attractive instead of all this other stuff that they attach as it goes through the process.
Because they just try to hide. They try to hide their intent and things they want in bills that aren't even for what they're voting for. Yeah.
well, it's their favorite thing to do, and like I said, or like I was going to say, it's both sides. It's both sides that do stuff like that. It's not just one side. It's not just the Democrats. It's not just the Republicans. They two wings of the same bird, and that's been a lot more in the last several years.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they try to get everyone stirred up against each other so they can get what they want.
And it's a lot of in front of the people, argue. Yeah, this people. Behind, not in front of the people, passing deals and stuff like that, and all this. That they're trying to make it look like they're against each other, but they're more buddy. Yeah, there are a few that are separated from that type of thing, kind of, but there's too few of them than there are, and there should be.
All right.
No, I'm not saying that we should be separated hard. We still need to work together, and if we're going to have a government that works.
I don't know. I would also slightly disagree with that because one of the reasons why it was a constitutional republic, and again, there's writings from some of the founding fathers on this. It was either Jefferson or it was either Jefferson, Washington, or Benjamin Franklin. But basically, they were saying that they were okay with the government being in locked stalemate, because if they were locked in stalemate, then it meant they weren't bugging the people. So they were actually fine with the government being stuck and not being able to do anything.
Yeah, and most of us folks, we just want to be left alone to be able to just do life.
That's true.
Instead of something new, some new regulations,
Some new tax.
Yeah, tax.
I mean, think about it. You people, me, everyone, we work, most of our life, most of the year. I mean, we get a few vacations here and there. We might get a week if we're lucky, 2 or 3 weeks if you're real lucky. But you get taxed every week. They take out a certain portion. I know in my case, they take out for all the stuff, health care, taxes. I lose like 35% of my paycheck off the bat, right? And then on top of that, now you go spend your money. Hey, you get to pay sales tax. All right, there's another portion of your money going to taxes. Your money was taxed already, now it's taxed again, right? Then you got to pay your state tax. Then you got to pay the road tax. Then you got to pay, if you own property, a property tax. So in the end, maybe you get to keep what 40% of your paycheck.
And that's before you get to the grocery store where everything is
Going up in price.
outrageously high now. I mean, you can't afford to buy much.
Most folks can't know.
It's yeah. Remember the old stories of hearing about the retired? No, I said retired people that don't have enough money and they're buying cat food to eat because they have. Well, that's come down to the average person. Like, do I pay my bill or do I eat? And then that's even harder for the people that have kids.
Let alone the daggone if you're renting or have a house payment. If you were lucky enough to get a low or get a house and get a low interest rate, then you're not looking to move because you don't want to lose that low interest rate.
That comes down to that. Also includes the whole: you will own nothing, and you will be happy.
You will be happy. The WEF, ruining lives everywhere.
Thing and saying you are not smart enough to live your life the way you want it.
You need to listen to us and do what we say. And the ironic part is the dude's an old German whose dad was a.
Well, that's just one of them. But
That's
the sad thing is, a lot of folks that I've met think the WEF is some sort of governmental agency when it's just a bunch of super wealthy people dictating how the world's going to use the money, including governments.
and yet, what do? Still hang on to their money.
And they still travel and they still put so much carbon out there. But hey, you regular man out there,
Now
you better not.
Don't get us wrong either. It's not we're not saying it should be socialism or communism, spread it all out.
No.
But there should be some checks and balances to keep.
There shouldn't be an unelected body of people dictating to your government what things they have to do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, then you just have fascists. They're just fascists, communists, socialists.
So you can tell we can go on tangents for a while, but I mean it's stuff that kind of needs talked about, and I mean really, we need something done, like to get people in there that actually will make change. We need a lot more common mans up there.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, but they make it so it's out of reach of most folks.
That's because of
the fees that you have.
Yeah.
You have to pay fees to run for any office.
Oh, yeah. Running for office can be really expensive. Now, it's not to discourage it, though.
No,
I mean, if you're just a
do it.
regular guy or girl out there or just a regular person, and you want to get involved, go check out your local
offices. Start there.
Your Chamber of Commerce. You can check out your town council,
County
anything.
council.
Anything, just run for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where most people start anyways, on the lower level, and then work their way up through.
Some people start as community organizers.
Well, yeah. And then they get backed by enough money and sponsors. I love that old saying, politicians should wear a jacket like they do for NASCAR.
Oh yeah,
That way you can see each sponsor.
Who
Yeah.
sponsors?
Oh,
That
would
would
be
be great. They should do that.
I wonder how many jackets would just be nothing but patches.
Oh, so many. They look like a quilt.
Some of them would be one giant, advertisement for one company.
Oh yeah. Pfizer. Oh my goodness. Hey, maybe we get like Harbor Freight to sponsor.
Doritos.
I don't think any of
Doritos,
them are going to be sponsored.
Harbor
by
Freight.
Freight.
I love
I
it.
don't think any of them want anything to do with with middle class.
I know, right?
Carl's
so
Jr.
disgusting being middle class.
Hey, welcome to
You
Idiocracy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr.
Yes, Idiocracy.
Oh,
Pronto.
It's what plants crave.
That's what Brian's crave. You mean plants?
Plants, yeah. Sorry.
mm.
Still a little sleepy.
No, sorry, he hasn't had very much sleep.
That was actually, it was a good movie,
Mm.
but it was very foretelling.
Yeah, it's
All the way
crazy.
down to the Crocs.
Yes, the
Oh,
Crocs.
yeah.
That you know in the you can look it up.
I hate
We
those
might
things.
find the reference. But originally, they talked before the movie. They said, "Let's just find this random company that has shoes that would seem like they're from the future, but kind of dumb."
Hmm.
And guess which company that was? It was Crocs. That's why they're wearing Crocs. And guess what? That is one of the biggest shoes now. Crocs. Congratulations, we have made it come true. Idiocracy.
Well, they started out as just foam.
Yeah.
Just foam rubber.
No,
I
don't.
look at those
We're
things,
not dissing Croc. Don't take it that way. Croc can be, they're comfortable for people and their stuff. But for
I
some
didn't
people,
think they were going to take off because it was foam rubber.
Yeah.
How are you going to walk
Well, it's
through
not durable.
the woods
Yeah,
with those?
because you put it in sport mode, duh.
No,
yeah,
no,
4-wheel drive, Robert.
But they're tougher
Flip 'em.
foam now. Originally, they were
Yeah, it was
more
a- it was a-
squishy foam.
It's cheaper phone.
Get that big old sharp thorn come right up through that shoe.
They always just fall apart though. It's like my daughter had a pair and she loved them. I absolutely hated those stupid things because she
Oh.
picked them to wear places that like wasn't appropriate to wear them. It's like, okay, first off, you're gonna get hurt wearing those. Say over here in the woods when we're going and doing stuff, or hey, we're walking through the city. Certain cities, and it's like there's stuff on the street. You're gonna get your foot stabbed. Don't wear those. She wore them till they were falling apart. They were zip tied on the side. I mean, granted, she was being real redneck, but it's like, man, come on.
We are slightly comfortable.
Wow, she just really liked them.
Slippers for around the house, cool, but no.
Well, have you seen this? Like, it's not just
Yeah, no,
Crocs
they
anymore.
make boots
They
now.
make
for 'em and
they
stuff.
make all kinds. It's other companies that come up with similar stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's cheaper made.
Croc style.
Oh yeah, when you can just get some foam and put it in a mold.
Well,
Mhm.
they got
And then sell it
3D
for a
printers,
hell of a lot of
3D
money.
printers and molds and stuff. That
Mhm.
you just
Well, I think I'd rather have a 3D printed shoe if I can pick what kind of material you're using.
oh, they got Star Wars. Let's get Star Wars.
Hey, okay, just a funny thought. Do they have steel toe?
Oh,
Rocks.
that's Croc steel toe.
I don't think the rest of the shoe would meet safety
It
standards.
probably doesn't.
Some
Like, hey, I work in a foundry all day and it's hot and sweaty, but when I want a comfortable shoe, I get Crocs. Crocs steel toes. And then you see this guy, he's walking through the foundry, steps into some of the hot melting metal. His
Yeah.
Crocs catch fire and he goes screaming through the shop.
Yeah, that's
In the
what I was
meantime, the
thinking.
guy at the front's still advertising them like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate this.
I'm not seeing. I'm seeing some like covers, like steel toe covers and stuff like that.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
They even
Slip
have,
resistant ones for work, for like work ones.
Yeah.
Work clogs.
work clogs for $50. Even looks like real leather.
That's for like. It's probably going to be more for like retail and just walking around type places.
So actually, like another satire commercial for it could be like, all right, you got the Croc business, right? And they're like going, okay, business shoe, this shoe. And it slowly turns into a real shoe. And the guys are like, oh, but we got a more expensive one now. And it is made of real pleather.
Just going back to what?
Yeah, it
what
just
they
goes
were
back to a real
wearing,
shoe. We've made enough money now to be a real shoe company.
but nobody's going to buy it.
But now they're not Crocs. They're still Crocs. They say Crocs on the side.
I can see that. Just
It's
a,
the
a
symbol.
circular
Yeah,
pattern.
it just goes in a circle, like everything else. Now that one guy though, we'll admit there's a guy that makes these little things to put on them, like a little toe sticking out or something, like gag things.
Oh yeah.
That dude's making some money on that. Dang.
lot of people make stuff like that.
Mm. Yeah, there it is. For $7.99, you can get your 10 toes sticking out.
You have toes sticking out of your Crocs. Spatial.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're not OSHA approved.
No, no. I'm
I
pretty
did get a
sure
pair
not.
of these though.
What, the
They're
bubble
gray.
looking things?
Yeah, they're bubble looking. Well, I had a pair of boots. My boots were hurting my feet. When I
Yeah.
was clearing out an apartment, and
Alright.
I needed something more comfortable to wear, so I grabbed those. Unbeknownst to me, that apparently there was a women's size and a men's size, and I
Oh.
grabbed the women's size too.
Oh, are they a little small?
And they were a little small, so my back of my foot was sticking out. So I'm like,
You still got your foot in there though.
I know.
Bunnies.
I ended up taking them off because
They wear some weird styles.
Oh, there's
but, hey,
these newer
Whatever.
shoes that you buy off of Toomey or I don't know
2.0.
2.0. Found out we pronounced it wrong at the Super Bowl. But
Toomey?
anyways,
Timu, you
You
mean?
mean
Yeah,
Timu?
Timu.
Oh.
see,
Is Toomey?
Well, I've
Wait,
been
how are you
pronounced-
supposed to say it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been saying it wrong. I know.
Because
I've
the
been saying it
commercials
wrong.
say Timu.
I don't know. I don't trust Timu. Every time I go on there, my
Yeah.
information gets stolen.
Hey, look.
Yeah, I'm not so big on Timu. It's like the knockoff version of Amazon.
Well, you know what it
And
is.
you already get your
Didn't
information stolen on Amazon, but it's like, okay, now we're gonna go to a knockoff one and really get our information. It's like
Did it used to
it's
be
like
Wish?
Wish. No,
Or is Wish
Wish is still
still
around.
Yeah.
So it's like Wish and like DHL had a baby,
Ugh.
and it's Timu.
It's like Sheen's not here better, but you know.
Yeah,
We're sorry for dissing.
we're sorry, not sorry. These are our opinions.
Opinions.
Are we supposed to like bleep out every company name? when we
Nah, I
say
don't
them on
care.
here?
I don't think it matters.
Since we're not licensed or something.
No, because it's just a conversation.
It's a
We're stating our opinions.
these are, and this is kind of, this really is a comedy show.
Should we put in there? This is for entertainment only.
Yes, this is for entertainment purposes only. Any names that are used are for that entertainment and of our own opinion. They are not meant to be influencing on anything that any consumer decides to do or advertisement. And no, we don't intend to influence anything any consumer does with their own money.
So when you wake up in the morning, do you hear snap, crackle, pop? You know all that?
Since I hit 40,
I've been hearing it for years.
You're
actually, I did start
You're
in the
both
30s.
old.
Yeah, well, the 80s, anybody born in the 80s, that 40 window is knocking. Come on.
I don't know what you're talking
Come on to the other side.
I've been 29.
Come on to
For
the
a
other
while
side.
now.
Just come on in. There's soft shoes and lounge chairs and doctor appointments to be made.
Those doctor appointment chairs are, the doctor office chairs are not comfortable.
I don't think,
Especially if you got to go to a proctologist.
What's a donut? Yeah. When you hit a certain age, you're going to have a lot of fun.
I take that back. Private practice I've been to actually has a few comfortable chairs, but they just
Yeah.
brought in living room furniture. So
that's really,
different.
that's what you really.
that's honestly all you need. It's
Unless
good.
you're a pediatric, then you're.
Oh. Dude, my kid's dentist is the dentist I wish we had when we were kids.
They didn't have
We had regular dentists when we were kids. There was no kids dentist. You
Is it a
went
place-
to the dentist, and
is
it
it-
was dark and drabby and was a medical facility.
Yep.
No, this place, freaking, you walk in, there's colors everywhere, big swoopy designs. There's video games. There's an arcade.
The one with the arcade.
Yeah, there's an arcade. There's toys to be played with. I'm just like,
We're not mentioning.
man, if I was a kid and I had this, they wouldn't have got me out of there.
Oh, there was a dentist that we
You'd
took
like to go to dentist.
kids
Right.
to. That was supposed to be all cool and kids stuff, but they were strapping kids down in the back when they
Yeah.
were doing their teeth.
Oh.
I could see
Oh,
that.
yeah.
There's some of them.
That's
Parents
funny.
would
No,
like to
like
ask her
without
down.
permission.
I don't know.
They were stripping kids down,
chair, kid.
giving the kids trauma and stuff. They got sued. Now they're out of business.
You
That's
know what
funny.
the problem with that is? They didn't have enough fear of the dentist
Right.
to not move.
Don't move. Or this drill. Oh, you remember when we were kids?
Yeah.
Hey, when he's drilling on your teeth or when he's cleaning them, don't move too much. He'll stab you in the cheek. You'll bleed.
It'll go right through, or it'll go right through your tongue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still, kid.
You better sit still because this cleaning's costing a lot. And if you mess it up, and I got to take you to the doctor, that's it.
You better keep still. I might slip and get you in the eye.
Yeah. And then the dentist.
But what was probably, this is how we heard it. We heard, I'll get you in the eye. But what they probably said was, okay, Timmy, you need to keep still. So we don't slip off your teeth. We need to take care of you. And we don't want to get like maybe your eye or your ear or something like that. We heard, stab you in the eye.
Yeah, it's probably,
No,
it's like
the best one.
Yeah.
The best one was, so back then it was the dentist would be like,
Okay, I'm going to start working on your teeth now. Open wide. And then he'd get real close and you just hear.
Oh, man.
And you just happen to be the kid after lunchtime, so it's garlic breath galore.
just breathing on you.
And it's like he's having a coronary because he's overweight.
How are you out of breath cleaning my teeth?
You're just moving your hands.
You sound like that man who lived down by the bridge and had the van and this funny smelling candy.
Oh, you got too far, Dave.
Well,
It's okay. It wasn't your fault.
it's all right.
Anyways,
Don't visit the man living in a van down by the river. Chris Farley. You're gonna be living down by the river.
or
Yeah.
accept cookies from
Do you remember
people
those
that.
bubblegum flavored gloves that they wore?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bubblegum flavored gloves. That was
Weird.
weird. Like it's like, hey, kid.
Hey, guess
my-
what?
I got my hands in your
John.
mouth.
You like that?
Well, there's some more bubblegum for you. Watch it.
And
Suck on my fingers.
and some of those kids was like, oh, bubblegum?
Yeah, you know some
Uh-huh.
they're sucking.
It's like, what? Why do your gloves taste like bubblegum for?
Are you sure this is a good idea,
Being
Doc?
Weird. I don't think they have anything like that anymore.
I think
He's sucking on my finger.
I think
Yeah.
like whoever invented some of these things was like some weird
No,
weird child sadist.
Probably
Yeah.
like, you know what would keep him from biting me? Gloves that
Bubblegum.
taste like bubble gum.
Mm-hmm.
But then they also had that other stuff that was like, so it was like a brush. They put it on the high speed drill, and the brush went in, and it like left some sort of bubblegum tasting
Everything was
fluoride
Yeah.
on you, and then don't swallow it. It's like
But it tastes like candy.
yeah, it's like okay. I'm sure most kids didn't swallow it. You're supposed to hold it in there for a while and then spit it out. And it's like tastes like bubblegum.
I'm not a proponent of fluoride, the
Yeah.
heavy metal and poison.
No, not in large doses anyway, especially since they put it in the water
Exactly
everywhere.
what they were doing to us.
You know, it'd be funny.
Yeah.
If, like, you were saying that and you're pulling out your dentures and washing
Right.
them in front of me.
Because with too much fluoride, you get something that's called fluorosis. And, ugh. There's a thought. Y'all go look up fluorosis of the gums or fluorosis of the teeth. See what that looks like.
I got Google it out here. I'm gonna look it up.
All right.
For
Fluorosis
Fluorosis. I'm dyslexic. It's hard.
of the teeth.
Of
images.
Images.
Ugh.
Oh.
Hey, that's about like your yeast story.
Hey, we made our
that
way
poor
back.
guy. He looks like he's been doing meth his whole life.
Yay!
Yay, fluorosis.
Oh, it's like a. It looks like
Yeah,
that
it's
almost
just
looks
eating
like
away the
somebody
teeth.
sent like electricity through his teeth.
Eats away. So too much of it is a bad thing.
I'm good.
Anyway,
Let me get over here.
being a kid was great. Shh, there's people upstairs. We're in a random environment, so we can't let too loud. Oh no, they're gonna come find us. Hey, speaking of finding
You can find us at Hoosier Brothers.
3 Hoosier Brothers.
Three
Three
Hoosier
Hoosier
Brothers.
Brothers.
I should know the name.
Three Hoosier Brothers.
Three Hoosier Brothers, and on TikTok.
We have a TikTok.
Do we have a TikTok?
I don't think we have a TikTok.
Maybe
We
we'll
need to
have a
make a
TikTok.
Huh. Maybe we should.
I have a personal TikTok. It's called The Bearded Phil. Go check me out.
Or Tom. And then there's
What?
your TikTok.
Is your TikTok?
Honestly, I forgot.
Oh, okay.
That
It's
one
just
guy.
on there.
It's down in the links.
We'll find it in the links apparently.
So, hey, for now,
Yep, there's been three Hoosier Brothers.
I'm Phil.
I'm Dave,
I'm Robert.
and this was
Three
Hoosier Brothers.
Bye.
Bye. Don't die.